just thinking about that game, it makes me laugh. I don't know how we won it. Football, eh? Look, I'm not going to pretend that we did not deserve anything from that game. It had shades of the Sheffield Wednesday game. I guess I've mellowed. My expectations have reduced. Not that my expectations were high to begin with. I didn't think Luton were ever going to go straight back up to the Premier League. But hey, we are where we are. And ultimately, these were vital 3 points on the board that take us up to the heady heights of 14th in the league once again. I'll start with the positives. No, actually, I'll leave the positives until the end. So, the negatives from the game. So we started with Mads Anderson, Tom Holmes, and Mark McGuinness playing at the back. I pointed out that it's probably a very slow back three. And you know what? Derby did give us some issues playing through the middle of the park, also some luck around the sides. The issue, though, came from the wing backs in this system, Chong and Moses. And I've made it very clear many times that both Chong and Moses, you want them as far up the pitch as possible. You don't want them defending. Like, look, Moses did well the other week against Stoke, against Lewis Kumas. He did well, because Lewis Kumas is a tricky player. Today, you could see the issue with having them as defensive wing backs. And I've been vocal, the guys at the LTST have been vocal, pretty much every single podcast has been vocal about switching to a back four and playing a 4-3-3 system that allows those two to play further up the pitch. And today we saw that with Chong when he was defending from the Caden Jackson goal, a routine cross into the box, and Chong was completely the wrong side. Caden Jackson rose highest. Chong wasn't even looking the ball. He was just had his hands on the man, trying to put him off. And it left quite a bitter taste around the ground. Well, the first half, the fans are a bit noisy. It was definitely noisier than Stoke, and there were definitely more people than at the Stoke game. But as soon as that goal went in, it got pretty hostile. But then the subs happened, and it was a triple sub. Quite rare that Rob Edwards does a triple substitution. On came Zach Nelson, Cauley Woodrow, and most importantly, Sir Pelly. I love Pelly Ruddock. It gave the crowd an instant lift, and it was absolutely tremendous. And you know what? It's such a shame that goal didn't get credited to Pelly Ruddock. It was vintage Pelly. It was a vintage Pelly banger. The way he caught the ball. Okay, I'm going to talk about the positives now. The way Pelly caught the ball and sent it in. Yes, it took a massive deflection off Tom Holmes' bum. I didn't notice at the time. I just thought Pelly had scored yet another banger. And there's been a lot of talk about Pelly. Rob Edwards was asked about Pelly in the build-up to the game. And he said, we just have so much quality in midfield. I can't see a place for Pelly in the starting lineup. Well, you know what? Pelly showed the second he came on the pitch what he brings. He brings energy. He brings passion. And most importantly, the ability to have a pop from outside the box. Now, just one more negative. It's just the fact that we create... both these goals were created from set pieces. And that is the only way that we could hurt Derby today. The second goal, it was a great ball in from Cauley Woodrow, deep, nodded back across. Derby, they couldn't clear their lines. It was quite like the Three Stooges, the way they were trying to clear it, clearing it into their own bodies. And then it fell to Elijah. Elijah had a good shot, and the ball landed to Carlton Morris. He still had quite a bit of work to do to cut in and get the ball out of his feet, and it took a deflection. it always looks great when the ball kisses the post on its way in. I loved it. You know, I've seen on social media people saying, I feel like an absolute muppet for celebrating a last minute goal where we didn't deserve anything. But you know what? This is where this is where we are at the moment. So, you know, we just got to make sure that we get enough points now to get to the end of the season, stay as far away from relegation as possible, because right now, relegation for this football club would be catastrophic. But you know what? We get to the window, we can potentially bring in some reinforcements. Who knows? We'll have some players coming back. Ruel Walters is nearly back, and maybe the system will work slightly better once we have some new blood in the team. Defensively, yeah, there's room for improvement. Ultimately, it's a performance that wasn't vintage. You take the 3 points and we move on. That is the nature of the game of football. And quite frankly, I was very happy coming back from the game with my dad. Right after the final whistle, I was thinking, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel, because it was one of those really, really sweaty 2-1 wins. Like we've had that, as I mentioned at the top of this review. We had that with Sheffield Wednesday. And I was watching the game with someone, and I said to that person when it was 1-1, I said, you know, Luton's going to win this now. And he couldn't believe it. Absolutely sensational stuff. Like, fair play to the entire team for just continuing to dig in, sending those balls in. You know, my one criticism would be, come on, we got to be able to create something from open play. And as Rob said, we have plenty of good midfielders and it's working in midfield. I'll just say, it's not entirely working in midfield right now. It just isn't. But I think maybe we should try and accommodate Pelly. And you know what? If Pelly is one of the players that we are planning on moving on in the window to make space for other players to come in, there will be riots. Because Pelly is the heartbeat of the club, and he showed that today. It gave the crowd a lift. It gave the players a lift. Because prior to that, Luton just weren't getting into Derby's third at all. We weren't offering anything. But hey, as I said, it's just a game where you got to take the points, forget about it, and we keep building. And you know what? We now go to Bristol City, Ashton Gate on Boxing Day, and that is the final team that we need to play to see what every single team in this division is about. Hopefully 2025 will be better for Luton Town Football Club than 2024, because we haven't seen too many wins, but we're all in this together. We all need to keep backing the team. If we keep backing the team will keep doing this, getting us out of incredibly sticky situations. But that's all from me. As always, we got our post-match phone in Sunday night, 9 o'clock. We hope to see you all there with your opinions. Please get involved. And I just want to say happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a great one. Spend the time with your families, eat tons of food. And most importantly, come on, you Hatters, because that's a big 3 points.